Yo, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy Carnage JK here, back with another video for you guys today. For Black Ops 4 beta is finally live. For those that are not aware, it actually went live yesterday, and we were streaming it for quite a bit of some time as well. Got some decent gameplays, and I got a ton of class setup videos to showcase for you guys, so that way you guys know exactly what are the best guns to use and what exactly are the worst guns to use within the game, and some of the best specialist setups and other different setups to use. But today we're actually going to be showing you guys my personal best settings that I recommend to use within Black Ops 4, and this will even apply when the game comes out, because as far as I know, the settings that are in the game aren't going to be changing at all. So you're going to want to be using the settings that I have available for you guys made in this video, and I'll be explaining some of the thought process on why I use certain setups and why I think this setup will be good for you. Now, this setup is actually going to be based for people that don't have a SCUF controller and for people that actually do have a SCUF controller. So I'm going to be starting off by showing the settings for people that have a SCUF controller, so you guys can know exactly what is the best setup to use. So for those that are not aware, I actually do have a SCUF impact. So I have a 4-paddle SCUF, which makes things a lot easier for me to do, like sliding, reloading, switching weapons, stuff like that, and also calling in kill streaks. So I'll be showing settings based on that, as well as people that do not have a SCUF controller. I'll be able to give you guys the best setups for that. So we're going to start off with the SCUF setup first. For anyone that has a SCUF or a SCUF impact, the regular SCUF has 2 paddles and the SCUF impact has 4 paddles. You're going to want to be using the setup that has basically... So let's start off with your sensitivity. Your look sensitivity horizontal, you're going to want to be using a 6 or maybe even something as high as an 8. If you prefer a higher sensitivity, stick with that. Now, I can't really tell you guys what sensitivity to use because everybody has different preferences. Like, for example, one of my friends prefers using sensitivities as high as 15. He prefers 14. He prefers having it as high as possible just because that's his personal preference. He has a SCUF just like me. But me personally, especially if you're using control freaks, guys, normally you want to turn up your sensitivity a little bit more. So if I wasn't using control freaks, I would put this down to about a 4. If you're using control freaks, you're going to want to use a higher sensitivity. Now, I have control freaks on the right hand stick, so my sensitivity is a little bit higher, which is why I have it at a 6. I don't want to have it too crazy, which is why a 6 is a good enough number for me. If I'm feeling a little bit cocky and my aim is really good, I'll turn this up to maybe a 7 or an 8. But for the most part, this stays at around a 6 in almost every single Call of Duty. Even World War II, Black Ops 3, Infinite Warfare, I had this at around a 6 to an 8. I didn't change that at all. So pretty much both of these sensitivities, you want to have them at the same exact number. Some people say that you want to have your vertical a little bit higher than your horizontal. Me personally, that doesn't make any sense at all in my opinion, and I don't see the point in having that at all. You don't want to, for your look inversion, you don't want to have this inverted at all. Keep it at standard. There's no point doing that. Aim assist, obviously on. Target assist, obviously on. Now, this is a big one, guys. Controller vibration. Do yourself a favor. Turn this off. Do not run vibration on your controller at all. I know some people have this crazy philosophy that if you have your vibration on, you get the better feel for a weapon and it helps you at the game. That is completely false, guys. That is just something that is in their heads. It doesn't mean anything. Vibration actually ruins your aim. Because of the fact that you're going to want to be keeping your shot on target at all times, vibration will actually ruin your aim. If you are getting into close range gunfights, even long range gunfights, let's say you're trying to snipe somebody, you could end up missing your shot because vibration will throw off your aim just off of the slightest millimeter. That'll ruin your shot. So you're going to want to turn this off. I have been turning off. I haven't run vibration on my controller since Modern Warfare 2. I've turned it off literally every single COD. There's literally no point to using it. Just do yourself a favor. Turn it off. Don't ever turn it back on. You'll be thanking me later. Just trust me. It'll feel weird at first, but just trust me, guys. You'll thank me later for why you turned it off. I'm telling you, there's no point using vibration. It's going to throw off your aim. So just turn it off every single COD. Even if you play older CODs, just turn it off. Just turn it off. I'm telling you. Alright, so your stick layout, obviously default. You don't want to change this at all. I mean, if you're just a crazy person and wants to switch it up, go ahead. But stick layout, you don't want to change this at all. There's literally no point. Stick layout is just perfectly fine the way it is. Your button layout, this is where it gets a little bit important. So, for anyone that's using a SCUF controller, if you are using a SCUF controller and you have 2 or 4 paddles like I do, use the default layout. The reason why is because the default layout makes it so that way your circle button is actually your slide button and your crouch and prone button. The reason why is because, for those that are not aware, this paddle that I'm pointing to right now, the one on the far right hand side, or if you're watching this, it's probably going to be on the far left hand side. This is actually your slide button, because it's the equivalent of the circle button right here. But with your SCUF controller, this represents your circle button. This is triangle, square, and X. This is going to be your slide button, which is why you want this to be default. If you do not have a SCUF controller, you want to make sure you put this to tactical, because that way your slide button is actually going to be the thumbstick right here. So that way you don't have to take your hand off of the thumbsticks at all to shoot your gun. It's going to make things a lot easier for you. But if you have a SCUF controller, leave this at default. Don't change it at all. If you're a jump shotter and you don't have a SCUF controller, but you still prefer to keep your button layout similar to tactical, definitely use the bumper jumper tactical, or even the stick and move if you prefer that thing. This stick and move was very popular back in what was that game called, Infinite Warfare, for people that didn't have SCUF controllers. But I don't really recommend it. There's no real point to using that, in my opinion. I'm just not a personal fan of it. So if you're using a SCUF controller, use default. If you don't have a SCUF, use tactical. Trust me, those are the two best ones. Bumper jumper tactical is for a little bit more advanced players that prefer to use this type of setup. It's really great for people that like to jump shot, and also it'll make it so that way your right thumbstick, when you push that down, that's going to be your slide button as well. So bumper jumper tactical is like the third best one, but tactical and default are going to be the only ones that you're going to want to use. And lastly, for your L1 and R1, don't keep this default. Don't flip it. If you have trigger stops, put this to flipped. Just because, actually, if you don't have trigger stops, if you don't have trigger stops, meaning it makes it so that way you can register your shoot button a lot quicker, use flipped. This will be a little bit helpful, but for those that have never used flip before, don't switch to it. If you've used flip before, definitely stick to flipped. But if you have a SCUF controller with trigger stops, or you just prefer the old school setup, then stick with default. Don't really change that at all. Anyways, guys, I'm going to leave you guys to the rest of the gameplay. I got a really nice TDM gameplay, 26 kills with about 4 or 5 deaths. It was a really entertaining gameplay using these settings that I showed you guys in the video. Anyways, unfortunately, it doesn't have a webcam because I wasn't actually recording with the webcam. I was recording off stream with my Elgato. But regardless, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I do have some commentary over it as well, so hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to stay tuned for my class setup video that's going to be going up later this afternoon. I will have a live stream up tomorrow as well. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. It is your boy, Carnage AK, signing out. Peace out.
Team deathmatch. Government troops, liquidate all hostiles. We have the advantage.
Oh my. You guys can stop now.
They're gone. Neutralized.
Turned on. Chuck, you're in a really bad spot, bro. You're there behind. Yo, who is this shooting at me? Oh. I'm like, you looked at me for a solid 5 seconds. I'm like, what is he shooting at me for? Dad reactions. Apollo right here, dude.
UAV available.
We're in trouble.
Down.
Jeez, dude.
Hellstorm available for tasking.
TACCOM. That's
You have-
UAV asset.
UAV energy levels ascending.
I'm ridiculous at this game, man.
Attack chopper available.
I just got an attack
for
chopper.
tasking.
That poor guy.
KIA. Kill.
Dude, I'm 17-1 right now. No!
Friendly tactical beacon
K9
offline.
unit has been destroyed.
Cyclone 3-1, NTC is 50%.
Sitting in a corner, man.
NTC expanded. Cyclone 3-1 bugging out.
Dude, why does he spawn there?
UAV circling. We're almost there. Close this out. Shut him down.
There's definitely a guy here, man. I just know it. Oh my. Delete your game. Got this guy. The aim assist is so real on this game, man. I don't even know what I just shot, man. I thought that was a grenade. I guess not. Peek that again, man. Never mind. Just spawn the kid next to me, bro.
Attack deploy beacons been destroyed.
I don't even know anymore.
You make this look easy.
Threat neutralized. Tank down. Threat neutralized.
Apollo, I'm recording if you want that gameplay. Bro, you don't even need a grip on this gun.